Look at my butt. Okay. Beat it up, like.
How's it going?
Doing pretty good. How are you?
Not bad. Not bad. I just got the little one down without any drama, so I'm happy.
That's always that's a success. It's like that's the best day that you can imagine.
Yeah, he's pretty good, honestly. He loves sleeping, so as long as everything is done in the right order, we're usually drama free. So
Yeah.
But yeah. Of course, the one day it wouldn't happen would have been today, so I'm like, thank God.
Yeah, that's what always happens every time I set up a podcast interview. It's like, okay, this is the one day you're gonna fight nap for hours, and then I've had to cancel so many things.
God, that sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now I'm stoked, and I printed out the notes or the thoughts that Teagan presented that I think are going to be plenty for us to jam on for the whole time.
For sure.
They're all very rich.
There was so much there. Yeah.
Yeah. I started writing down notes, and I was like, no, I should just stop. We should just talk about it. I don't want to read my thoughts, to you. Yeah. Oh, the dog?
The cat. No, the cat has arrived.
The Lucifer?
Yeah, Lucifer's coming. What are you doing, dude? We were just gone for 3 weeks, and she stayed with Kiara's brother, and I came in, and she had messed around so much with my altars and stuff. She's just I found a troll bag that I made. The bag itself was in the house, but all contents were squirreled away in all these little spots, and it's good. But it's so funny. It's what she gets up to when we're not around.
Yeah, maybe she's sending some messages from the spirits.
It is. It's really interesting.
With.
Kiara, there's a particular altar in our house that's in the living space, and Lucifer will get up on that altar and sit there. That's her spot, on the altar cloth. I have to clean it all the time because it just gets covered in cat hair.
Yeah,
and she'll most of the time she'll just sit there, but every once in a while she will bat at you as you pass by the altar like this. Hey, this is untended. Take care of business. It's been really interesting to watch her kind of be tapped in with the hey.
How's it going?
Good. So happy to be here.
Welcome.
Yeah, how fun.
I went ahead and just turned the record button on so you're all aware. And I am probably going to do a 10-minute preview that we can post for folks is hey, go check out the rest of it. So if there's anything you'd want to keep behind a paywall, wait about 10 minutes.
No pressure.
keep it in.
Yeah. Not that you should censor yourself, but I feel like it's a polite thing to say if you're going to tell people they're behind a paywall and they start going off. It's oh, well, shit. Yeah. So
you know that I actually cannot censor myself. So
yeah, exactly. I don't censor myself either. I feel like it's the right thing to do.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, welcome, Teagan. So awesome to have you here.
So glad. I'm so excited for what is about to come out of my mouth. I'm yeah, who knows? Yeah.
Us too. Hell yeah. Yeah. How's Imbas summer been for you so far?
It's funny because before I even was getting ready to come on the call, I was reflecting on how I feel I've been in a little bit of an altered state, for at least a few weeks now. So it's perfect conditions to have this conversation. But yeah, just the combination of the heat, above and below, and side is the flavor of agitation that puts you in a little bit. Yeah. So that's where I'm coming in from. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I would say, me too. Similarly, the past few weeks for me have been a lot of the stuff I've been working on has really started to come together in meaningful ways that I would say I had hoped for. This is magically speaking, but didn't expect it to necessarily coalesce so directly and quickly. and it's been very interesting and cool. So yeah, I'm just going with it.
Mhm. Yeah. I was noticing that last night, like, how reactive the field feels right now. Like, I don't know about y'all, but
Hmm.
doing any magical working, it's, like, been an immediate response. So I'm just playing with that. I'm like, "Okay, it's
Hmm.
a little more responsive and, also like, reactive in ways that are, um, potentially unhelpful. We'll see."
Well, it's like you said, the heat coming from both directions. If you're channeling it properly, that's super potent. You
Right,
know,
right. Yeah.
how's your Imbas summer chase?
I've just been really deep in the family life of summer recently. We were down in Southern California for 3 weeks. Wow, I've never seen Lucifer up there before. She's learned some new tricks since we left out of town. Wow. She's like
That's great.
4 or 5 feet above me on a big box staring down. Don't jump on the table. Yeah, and we were down in Southern California where I grew up, hanging out with my parents and grandparents and for a couple weeks and yeah, which is just always it's mostly being with the family, but it definitely felt like this sense of not really having to do anything to be in the processes that are calling me in my work right now magically. It's like so much more about vegetalizing than it is agentling
Mm,
in my
Hmm.
practice, except for like the particular rituals and things I'm trying to keep up over time. But um so I was really feeling that sense and being in the place you come from, being in the ecology you come from, and I feel really blessed. I come from like a very wild place in the Santa Monica Mountains, and so it's when we go home, it's just pretty immersive.
mm,
That when you go home to those kinds of places, you don't really have to do anything to be in the field or to like be in the process and the connection. It's just like there's this um relighting up of all of this connective web that uh is really hard to build
mm,
in another place because
mm,
you were born there. You took your first breaths of air in those places, and so there's a kind of different connection. So that's been the process, and then lots of like reading books at 3 in the morning and having the ideas kind of float around because the baby's still doing her 3 in the morning wake up life.
oh,
Lord,
respect.
I'm happy to say we nipped that in the bud, but
Phew.
I shouldn't tell you that.
No, you shouldn't, but I appreciate it. It's possible. It will happen,
It
but
is possible. It is
yeah.
possible. It's because my wife has us do that really kind of like cruel sleep training method that you see online that
Mhm.
might be like borderline mentally abusive to children, but then they sleep through the night. So I don't know. Maybe you're a better parent in the long run.
Trust me, we think about it all the time. Like,
I
I don't
cannot.
think we're doing third kid. I don't think we're doing this right. And can
Yeah.
we do it any other way? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Lord Almighty. I love it. Well, I wrote down some of the thoughts that Teagan brought when we started talking about doing this little hangout session. And they were all very potent and rich of things that I've been thinking about a lot in many ways, but also just with what you and I have been doing, Chase. Like they're all like really tapped into the thoughts I've been having. So I'm just going to kind of like, as we go along, throw them in periodically. The first one, let's see, was noticing how to create the conditions internally to court inspiration. And then you also add in there the interplay of the hunter and the hunted, and then becoming both. So it's kind of like three whole separate conversations, which I love. Um, but I'll just throw that out there and you guys can dive in and I can jump
Mhm,
on too.
mhm. Yeah, I guess it's important to say too, like, where that question has been coming from is just noticing in my own practice and also trying to write and trying to, prepare curriculum, like, whatever it is, it's the sense of, creating the conditions in myself for something to emerge, but also that last thread around, like, the hunter and being hunted came from an experience I had last week where I was, like, going out to try to, almost catch the spirit of the story. You know, I've been doing that in my practice where I'm like, I'll spend some time writing and accumulating ideas, and then I'll just go out and go for a walk and try to like catch the story, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It was so wild because I was I was walking and I was very leaned in to like looking for something. And I felt out of my periphery like suddenly the roles were reversed very imminently. And I felt fear in like a really beautiful activating way, but I realized like the story was almost like hunting me. You know, the yeah, and it was such a good wake-up call, so fucking humbling because 'cause I'm like, "Oh, I think I'm in control here. I think I'm in
Mm-hmm.
the lab, like, creating the conditions for something to come through me, and meanwhile, like, it's just watching and waiting to see if I'm paying attention," and actually kind of teasing me a little bit, you know? Um, so that's where that thread comes from, and I'm selfishly curious, what it pulls at for y'all. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead. No, you first.
Yeah, I just love, well, one just to go straight in on the that hunter hunted energy. I think it's really, it feels really true for me. And
Mhm.
and that, it's particularly the mental process of like, I think I'm the hunter right now.
Mm-hmm.
And then it gets, and then you have those moments of role reversal where especially, depending on what you're working with and how you're thinking about these kinds of things, like if it's a relationship with a living thing, like
Yeah.
that role reversal happens, and you're realizing how much you really are just at the behest of it, and how it's been stalking you longer than you think you've been stalking it.
Mhm.
um and how often that happens to me with stories. Like, I hear a story, like, like the oral storytelling tradition. I hear a story, and I'm like, oh, this story's been rocking around for like years, and here it is, and now I got to find it. And then you're realizing that, it's, I recently, for what was the last holiday we had? Summer solstice. We did
Mm.
our big gathering here, Anna-Swiss County gathering, and I had about 6 stories flitting around in my head as I stood up to start. I was like, I have no. There's 6 different stories I could tell, that want to be told, kind of energy, which is, you know, we've talked about this before. Of like, I just get really gnarly migraines before I do any storytelling, because there's just a lot of different things going on in the field, um, and it was like, in the trying to like uh rev up the engine, like 10 minutes of me revving the engine, like in front of people, trying to be like, okay, what's the thing, how do I
Mm.
story myself towards the story of these 6 that wants to be told. That suddenly it was like the story just opened its eye and looked at me, and was just like, oh yeah, just this one.
Hmm.
Like, this is what's about to happen.
Mm.
And it was a story that I had heard someone, um, the actor Mark Rylance, mention
Hmm.
on a podcast with Martin Shaw, like in 2019 or 2020. Um, that took me like many years to even find the source of the story. Like, he just mentioned the story on this
Hmm.
podcast. I was like, I need to find that
Hmm.
story. And I searched for years. I couldn't find any sources. There was nothing. Um, and then one day, I can't even remember how it happened. I was listening to like old ballads. I was listening to albums of old ballads, and suddenly, um, a ballad came on that was the story, and I was just like, "This is what I've been searching for." And it opened up the door to finally being able to find the source for the story and like actually work on it. But it was so incredible to have that experience of like, this thing is looking for me here, through this process, and how much of my life story then was revealed to me through that story. Things that had happened earlier that were like, oh, this has been constellated all this time. Um, yeah, it's a
I need to know
dragon
what
story.
story
So
that is.
it's called the Laidly Worm of Spindleston Hugh. Oh,
The dogs are like, oh yeah, it is.
Oh yeah.
If there's a truck from before like 2001, it's too loud for these dogs and they can't handle it. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No,
what was that?
No, it's good. It's the Laidly Worm of Spindleston Heugh is the name of the story.
I don't know that.
And it's according to how some Mark Rylance put it when I first heard the story, and when you hear the story, you can see it. It could be understood as a sort of like pre-Christian version of the St. George and the Dragon story.
Oh, yeah. Interesting.
It's got the same motif of George and the Dragon, but the type of engagement that the knight in the story, his name's Child Wind, takes with the dragon is a completely different approach than this Dragon Slayer thing that we get from George. It's a really potent story, and you know, I think it says a lot about what it means to be hunter and hunted, I think, in this context, because he's hunting. I mean, he has a spear. He's trying to get this dragon because it's called him on the wind, but the type of courtship that happens, he eventually he ends up singing. The dragon is singing, and that's what he hears on the wind. And he sings back to the dragon and uses his spear. Like there's this spear of engagement, you know, that we see in the St. George imagery, right? Like George and his spear. But the dragon and him harmonize as the dragon spirals down the spear towards him. And ultimately they lock eyes, and he kisses the dragon three times as they're singing this song. Wow. So like you're saying, that sense taken of like the hunter and the hunted at the same time, right? Like that, you know, in some of the esoteric readings I've heard of St. George is or even St. Michael, right? Like the spear that gets the demon, or the spear that gets the dragon, we can understand that as that the killing, but it's also an intimate penetration of bodies, right? That are like connected now because of a spear. But in this story, we have the kiss and the spear, which then they merge as hunter and hunted. And the dragon, I don't think we wanted this whole story, but here we go. And the dragon peels off, its flesh peels off, and it becomes earth, and its wings peel off and they become air, and its fire erupts out and becomes the fire elements. And it's revealed that it's his sister Margaret, and she's a weeper. She's a griever who can't stop grieving. That's how she ends up becoming a dragon. And so it's this alchemical elemental thing that happens when the hunter and the hunted meet like that. They become this like fertile alchemical peeling away.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. Stories.
And the sister is almost like his female counterpart. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like brother, sister.
So exactly.
That's fucking crazy.
Throughout the whole story, he's a wind character. He's never around. You hear about him briefly at the beginning of the story, but the story really is about Margaret and her relationship with her father and her stepmother, who's a sorceress. And then only later is it that Child Wind comes back at the end of the story. And so they're these sorts of like animus, like I'm not a big fan of going in that psychological route with stories, but they have that kind of twin character.
The double.
And I love that it's not this sort of like damsel in distress saved by knight who will marry her energy. It's like these soul twins who are ultimately feeding each other's lives and not this sort of betrothal kind of damsel knight kind of way, but like the twin thing, you know, that we want to get from the alchemy, that sort of hermaphroditic oneness. But I think, it's interesting, you know, like if a dragon sees you, like you're scared, you piss your pants, like all the other knights piss their pants and leave in this story, you know. And so that place where sometimes it's a terrible thing to be caught in the hand of something like that.
Mm.
It's terrifying.
That's incredible. That says so much about your initial statement there, Teagan. That's
I
really
know.
weird.
No, I love that that just happened. Like, oh, that was actually yeah, good. Wow.
That's crazy. Yeah, it's funny because one thing I thought initially when I read that was I wonder how, and this is kind of a question for you, Teagan,
Mm,
and then I'll say like what my version of that is, I guess. But I wonder how our astrology might actually
mm.
affect that relationship, because I was just wondering if it's even just like your Mercury placement or something like that, to